Hello and welcome, one and all. It's your boy Jay, that's me. What's good? We're going to get into AEW Dynamite from October the 22nd, 2025. Oh boy, this show was a snooze fest. But there was one good thing on this show, and that was the Mercedes Moné, Kris Statlander, Harley Cameron segment. That was really good. So we'll talk about that. I did enjoy the Okada and Bandito main event match. That was okay as well. But outside of those two things, this show was dog shit. It just was. So let's go ahead and get into the show. We kicked the show off with Hangman Page. He is pissed about how Samoa Joe and the Ops, how they jumped him and they stabbed him in the back. So whatever. Who cares? And Hangman also promises to ruin Samoa Joe when he sees him. Whatever. This is fine, I guess. I mean, clearly, this sets up a rematch at Full Gear. I think Full Gear is going to be a week or two before Survivor Series. It might even be the week of. Who knows? But I would imagine, I think Full Gear is like a week before Survivor Series. I have to look it up, though. But it's okay, I guess. Moving on, this leads us into the first match of the night, which was a trios match. So the Ops, Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs, they retained their trios championships by defeating the Hurt Business, the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. MVP got put to sleep by Samoa Joe. He choked him out via the Coquina Clutch. And for whatever reason, the Demand, they showed up to cost the Hurt Business this match. Okay, what the hell is going on? What is this feud all about, all right? This thing should be over and done with. We don't need anything else, all right? What more do you need? It should be over. What more does this feud need? Does someone need to, get seriously injured for this feud to end on either side? What? Like, what's it going to take? Because this shit is boring. Seriously. And anyway, what is the purpose of the Demand? What are they demanding? Because of their name, what are they demanding? I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. But it is what it is, I guess. Who cares? So post-match, Samoa Joe, he gets on the mic and he makes fun of the San Antonio crowd. He says that Hobbs likes big fat chicks or whatever, which is kind of funny. And Hobbs was like, yeah, but he wasn't paying attention, I think. And basically, Samoa Joe, he runs down San Antonio. And then he also insists that Hangman is not the man he says he is. He mocks the champ, saying that he'll slap Page around. So, whatever. And then he calls him a bitch, that being Hangman Page. So, whatever. This is okay. That's fine, I guess. I mean, it's just really important. No, it's not. So, I don't know what... I don't know. I really don't know what to say. Clearly, this is setting up, their rematch at Full Gear. Does this need to be like a Falls Count Anywhere match? Does this need to be a 2 out of 3 falls match? What? I would love for Samoa Joe to dethrone Hangman. He needs to be the one to do it. But I doubt it'll happen because Tony Khan, who was on the show, for whatever reason, he's in love with Hangman. So I doubt that will happen. And the audience loves Hangman for whatever reason. Hangman to me is okay. but he's a mid-carder at best. Not a main event guy, but a mid-carder. It is what it is. You know, that's just cold, hard facts. Moving right along. So, Kristen Statlander, she is backstage. She addresses beating Toni Storm at Wrestle Dream and the challenge by Mercedes Mone. She mocks Mone for what she hasn't been able to do, and then she accepts the challenge for Full Gear before telling Mercedes to have a good celebration tonight. All right, that's fine there. Moving on. So, Darby Allin is out next, and he's draped in the AEW flag and everything. He talks about Mount Everest. So, Darby says the people who said he can never be the face of this company, that said that he might go and get himself killed, and that's bad for PR. But he argues the opposite, saying that he's willing to go places for this company that no one else would. Okay, it's like, whatever. He talks about the scars that he has still from this from this past Saturday. Before saying that as long as the Death Riders are still breathing, Darby will never be far behind. Okay, whatever. So I'm guessing this is setting up for Blood and Guts. I can't remember when Blood and Guts actually is. Who really gives a damn? But it seems like it's going to probably be Darby teaming up with the conglomeration to take on the Death Riders. That's all I see this leading to. But again, this Jon Moxley, Darby Allin feud should have been ended a long time ago. Like, for real. This shit is not it. Like, fuck this shit. Darby could be the face of the company, which is fine in small doses, but if Darby wasn't so fucking suicidal and so deranged and mentally disturbed, because I do think he needs to be in therapy. I'm not gonna hold you up on that one. Like, Darby is somebody who, if I was a therapist, I would want to see him at least a good 3 to 5 times a week. Fuck it. I would want to see him 5 times a week. Monday through Friday, on my couch, pause for about probably 2 hours a session. So, 2 hours, but that's what Darby should be doing, man, because Darby is just insane. It's like, this guy has a death wish for whatever reason. I have no idea. I do think that Darby really does need to seek some therapy. He really does need to be on some therapist's couch for at least, 2 hours for 5 times a week. Seriously, because you only wrestle in AEW once a week. There's a pay-per-view once a month. So, yeah, I mean, whatever. But it is what it is. So, but that's kind of where I do see the Darby Allin, Jon Moxley feud ending is going to be at Blood and Guts. And I don't care. Like, to me, that's very, very weak. That's a waste of blood and guts. But to each his own. To each his own. Moving on. So, Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, they are backstage from Wrestle Dream. They're talking about what it means for him and Luchasaurus to be out there again. Starting now, they're here to take it all, addressing whoever has our world tag team championships. I don't care about this. Like, this is not 2019 and 2020 or 2021 anymore. Move on from Jurassic Express, please. Like, no. Like, just fuck no. Just move on. Please move on from this shit. This leads us into the Fatal 4-Way tag team match, which is Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford versus Jamie Hayter, Queen Aminata versus Carly Cameron and Willow Nightingale. versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Who wins this? Because I wasn't paying attention with this. I really wasn't. Jamie Hayter got the win, so whatever. This is fine, I guess. So, whatever. Moving on. So, the Young Bucks, they won a money match. They said that they'll fight anyone. And they'll team with anyone for this match. So, Tony Khan, he shows up looking all goofy and crazy. And accepts putting up $400,000 of his fake money. It's going to be an all-star match for Collision. It's going to be Jurassic Express and Jet Speed versus the Young Bucks and FTR. Oh my God, this is so damn stupid. Why? Can we please, for the love of the creator above, can we please stop with these stupid ass 8-man all-star tags for fake money? It doesn't matter whether it's 200,000 or 400,000 or $1 million or whatever. Just stop. It's not real. Can we please stop? This is a waste of everyone's time. I don't care. I do not care. Moving on from this garbage. All right. Finally, the Mercedes Mone stuff. So she comes out and, no, not Mercedes, my bad. So Mercedes Mone, her music is played. Renee Paquette hypes up, and gives Mercedes a really good warm welcome and stuff. Talk about how she's 12 belts money and everything else. So basically, the real Mercedes doesn't come out. It's the mini Mone done by Harley Cameron, which is great. She just mocks Mercedes and all that jazz. She wants Renee Paquette to chant CEO and dance. Same thing with the crowd. So, Mercedes Mone, she shows up. She runs down Harley Cameron for making a mockery of her, poking fun at Harley for begging her to be her tag team partner and disrespecting the title celebration. She calls the fans dumb, stupid marks, and then she shoves the puppet's face into the cake, and then she pulls out Harley Cameron from under the cake, and then Kris Statlander was behind it all, and then Kris Statlander put Mercedes Mone through the table, and she stands tall. So that's cool there. The crowd pops massive for this. This is really beautifully done. I like this. I really do. This is really, really good stuff here. Now, Mercedes having 12 titles, it makes zero sense. I feel that they've got to do something to where she starts dropping these belts. And I think it's time, because 12 belts is way, way too much. I could see 3 or even 4 belts, but 12, hell no. That's way too excessive, and it's just overkill. It's overkill at this point, but whatever. Like, it's not that important, though. But I do expect for Mercedes to actually win at Full Gear. I think they're going to pull the trigger. But I think she's probably going to be pulling double duty, because I think she's also going to be in the women's tag team tournament. Her and Athena, a.k.a. Ember Moon, they're going to be involved in that. So, and I do think that it's going to come down to Mercedes and Athena versus Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. So I think that's who's going to probably be in the finals. Who wins is probably going to be Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa, because you need to have baby faces as your first champions. So, but when I saw that that bracket and everything else, I knew then that the final 2 teams were going to be Mercedes and Athena, and Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. So there is that. Moving on. We get a vignette from Jon Moxley. He deals with accepting his failure that night against Darby Allin. He says nobody in pro wrestling does what he does, running down the business for not meeting the standard he has set, which is just indie garbage bullshit. He says Darby made him a liar, but he knows who he is when he looks at himself in the mirror. I don't care about this. This leads us into Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. And Jon Moxley wins. No, Kyle O'Reilly wins via DQ. So, towards the end of the match, O'Reilly got Moxley into an ankle lock. Moxley was not going to tap out, so he low blowed the ref. He hit him with a forearm strike. Then referees come out and calls for the DQ. Who cares? I don't care about this crap. Then there was a brawl that broke out between Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly involving both the conglomeration and the Death Riders. I do not care about this shit at all. Moving right along, this leads us into Claudio Castagnoli defeating Orange Cassidy. I don't really care about this. This was like, I guess, more tag team action. Don't really care. No, the conglomeration, they get the win, so whatever. It was like a 6-man tag. I don't care. Post-match, Pac attacked Mark Briscoe. Ishii came out to make the save and all that jazz. The Death Riders, they beat up the conglomeration. Whatever. I don't give a fuck about this. Moving on. So, we go backstage. We hear from an incensed Mercedes Moné, who's quickly interrupted by Athena. She talks about both women making legacies of their own before offering to make one together as AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. Mercedes likes the sound of that, and Athena tells her that they're going to get her cleaned up and get ready for minion training. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Who cares? Moving on. This leads us into Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis. Basically, he's tired of facing Mark Briscoe. The score is 3-2. Kyle has 3. Mark Briscoe has beat him twice. Whatever. And he said it's done between them. So, whatever. Mark Briscoe shows up. He said that he's not looking to go a million times against Kyle Fletcher. He's just looking for one more shot. And then so Don Callis speaks on behalf of Kyle Fletcher. He says that Mark Briscoe is a great wrestler and a great athlete. Don has respect for him, but Mark Briscoe is starting to sound desperate. He acknowledges the kids Mark has, and then he calls them a financial burden. Basically saying that Mark Briscoe needs a family like the Don Callis family, saying that he's telling Mark what he needs to hear, telling him no one on the TNA title match. So whatever. I mean, who really cares? Why does Don Callis need to add another member to the Don Callis family? For what? What sense would that even make, right? It's dumb. It's dumb as shit to do that. Whatever. So this leads us into Mina Shirakawa. She's backstage. She talks about teaming up with Thomas Storm in the tournament. So Thekla interrupts. This leads to Mina challenging Thekla to a match at Collision. I don't care about this garbage. Main event of the evening. Kazuchika Okada defeats Bandito to retain the AEW Unified Championship. And that was it. Takeshita came out, and it seems like he wants a piece of Okada, basically. So I guess they're going to set that up for Wrestle Dream or whatever. But they've not had any promos back and forth or whatever. Or it's weird that Don Callis hasn't even tried to get these guys on the same page or whatever. But I don't care about this shit at all. I just don't. I don't. Again, this show was garbage outside of the Mercedes Moné stuff. That was really decent there. And the first match of the night was pretty good. I liked the Will Hobbs, Bobby Lashley interaction. I'm trying to think if Bobby Lashley and Samoa Joe, if they crossed paths while they were in WWE or TNA. I think they may have crossed paths in TNA. I don't know. So it's fine. I would love to see Bobby Lashley versus Will Hobbs 1-on-1. I think that would be great. That would be really, really good shit there. Hopefully that does happen in due time, but I doubt it will. But everything else on this show was just dog shit. So it is what it is at this point, though. AEW continues to be a total failure. It really does. But they have none but themselves to blame. Whatever, though. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.